Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're tracing an absolutely incredible evolution of the entertainment industry. We are talking about the journey from the total global shutdown of 2020 all the way to a mind-bending immersive future. We're going to look at how the very fabric of storytelling has been fundamentally rewoven.
So let's dive right in by asking ourselves the ultimate question about the future of storytelling. What happens when you stop watching a movie and actually step inside it? For over a century, audiences have just passively observed stories on a flat screen, right? But today, that barrier between the audience and the creator is completely dissolving. We are moving from a world of simple observation to a world of absolute physical presence. We're going to map this journey out chronologically, starting from the sheer necessity of pandemic lockdowns in 2020, moving through the virtual production boom of 2021, and taking us straight into the fully realized immersive market of 2026.
Section 1. The 2020 Industry Disruption.
Remember 2020? The COVID-19 pandemic didn't just press pause on physical productions, it literally obliterated decades-old distribution models overnight. Hollywood was forced to completely abandon theatrical windows and pivot directly to streaming. And that permanently altered our consumption habits and sent massive shockwaves through the economics of the entire ecosystem.
Section 2. Rise of Virtual Production.
Now, what's really fascinating about this next shift is how the industry fought back. Instead of flying a massive crew halfway across the globe or relying on the heavy post-production guesswork of an old-school green screen, actors could suddenly react to hyper-realistic digital environments right there on the physical set. The final pixels were actually being captured in camera, in real time. Directors and producers rapidly adopted these LED volume stages, and that allowed them to shoot incredibly complex, sprawling environments without ever leaving the controlled safety of the studio.
And this wasn't just some temporary pandemic band-aid. The financial reality here is pretty staggering. The virtual production market is forecasted to grow from $3.3 billion today in 2026 to $6.5 billion by 2030, and then a massive $18.5 billion by 2035. It has fundamentally become the new normal across high-end television and feature films.
Section 3. AI's Creative Revolution. We've officially entered an era where AI got a massive promotion from a simple assistant to a literal co-creator. We're talking about algorithms dynamically altering storylines based on your real-time emotional reactions. Plus, virtual influencers are now engaging with fan bases 24/7. It's giving independent creators the kind of power that used to belong exclusively to major studios, all driven by unprecedented sentiment data analysis that makes traditional demographic marketing look completely obsolete. Section 4. Decoding Cinematic VR. Now, the crucial point here is that Cine-VR separates itself from video games by maintaining a clear beginning, middle, and end using live-action production techniques. It's not just about wandering aimlessly in a computer-generated sandbox. It actually relies on real-world lighting, scenic design, and blocking to tell a compelling story, but it puts you, the audience, directly inside the scene.
Understanding how we actually interact with these virtual spaces really comes down to something called degrees of freedom. With 3DOF, which is the current standard for Cine-VR, you can rotate and tilt your head to look around a fixed point. But 6DOF? Oh, that is the holy grail. That allows you to actually walk through and navigate that physical space, representing the ultimate interactive peak of storytelling environments. Think of it this way. Immersion is the hardware. It's the image resolution, the focal lenses, the tracking capability. But presence? Presence is purely psychological. It's when the storytelling is so masterful that your brain is genuinely tricked into believing you are standing right next to the characters. To actually capture this magic, creators rely on a really precise 3-step hardware workflow to seamlessly synchronize your movement with the sights and sounds of the virtual world. First, 360-degree cameras capture everything simultaneously and stitch it all together into a panorama. Second, ambisonic microphones recreate the sound field spherically. So if a dog barks playfully behind you, you instinctively hear it right over your shoulder. And finally, head-mounted displays use built-in gyroscopes and accelerometers to map that visual data flawlessly to your head movements. But think about it. If you, the audience, control the camera, a director can't just yell cut and force a close-up on some hidden clue, right? They have to invent a completely new language. They have to use spatial audio or really subtle lighting cues to naturally guide your eye to the critical parts of the action. It is a total, ground-up reinvention of pacing, framing, and visual hierarchy. Section 5. The Immersive Market. Immersive tech hasn't just entered the chat, it has literally taken over the prestigious Carlton Hotel at the 2026 Cannes Marché du Film. What was considered fringe tech just a few short years ago is now the undisputed centerpiece of the world's largest gathering of film professionals. The entire infrastructure of cinema has been completely rewritten. We are talking about a massive 450 square meter immersive venue and an XL virtual production stage right at Cannes. Distributors and creators aren't just dabbling anymore. They are investing millions to bridge traditional cinema with the new creator economy. They're making shared VR experiences and AI talent summits the absolute industry standard. I want to leave you with this really profound thought from journalist Harrison Weber. He asks, how do you create your art when all of your tools have changed? Well, we've adapted, we've experimented, and we've survived the disruption. But as that screen dissolves and we step completely inside the narrative, are we still just telling stories? Or are we building entirely new realities? And maybe more importantly, whose reality will you choose to step into next?